whole lot. And the latest coordinates as of 11 o'clock PDT were 16.9 north and 103.0 to the west. Well, let's take a closer look at what else is happening. We have hurricane warnings and tropical storm warnings out. Of course, a warning indicates that the winds could be at these levels within 24 hours. They could be. That's why the warnings are posted. So tropical storm force winds from Acapulco to Zihuatanejo and up to Manzanilla, we have that possibility of hurricane force winds within 24 hours. Now, looking at the big picture here, you can see we got just a tiny little ball there. It's a very compact storm. In fact, the hurricane force winds extend out only about 25 to 35 miles from the center, depending on which direction you're going. But we have noticed some darker red near the center here, so it has held together, so still maintaining its strength at Category 1 hurricane, and it is basically just sitting and spinning. Some of the rain has made it to Acapulco. We haven't seen a whole lot of winds yet. Actually, the winds have been calm at Acapulco, and on up toward Manzanilla, the winds have been very light as well. So the wind field, the hurricane force winds are well offshore, and the tropical storm force winds have not even made it to the land yet. And the rain has pretty much been offshore. So there's good news there all the way around. But we'll have to monitor the situation through the rest of the weekend because it could start to drift back to the north. Meanwhile, we have an upper level low here, not tropical, not worried about it right now. Another little low here, which is not tropical, really very quiet. Conditions extend over the tropical Atlantic, even all the way back into Africa. Well, too early in the season, though, to be looking out beyond the Caribbean. And the Caribbean at this time is very quiet, so we're all clear in the tropics as far as the U.S. is concerned. Now, thunderstorms have been quite bountiful here in the Plain States, and there still could be some severe weather. And this is a 24-hour
reported in Wrightstown. Now, the good news is...
News this morning. Thousands of New Jersey residents are cleaning up after strong winds tore a path of destruction through Burlington and Mercer counties. A National Guardsman from New York was killed by a falling tree at Fort Dix, and a tornado has been confirmed in Mercer County. The storms first hit the Garden State in the Bordentown area in the early evening. When it was all over, many cars had broken windows, and the historic first public schoolhouse in the state had a tree on its roof. The storm lasted for about 2 hours. Here's a look at just some of the communities hardest hit by the storm. Ewing was pelted by hail 1 inch in diameter. Farther south in Browns Mills, the hail was even bigger. And near Wrightstown, residents thought a tornado touched down, although the National Weather Service investigators say the damage was caused by what they call straight-line winds and not a twister.
Now, a trailer park in North Hanover Township was especially hard hit. The high winds ripped down power lines, left them crackling as emergency crews tried to keep up with the storm. The wind damaged about 1/4 of all the trailers in the Spartan Village trailer park. Awnings were ripped down, chunks of trailers torn off, and several storage sheds were demolished. Power may not be restored to this park until sometime tomorrow. An emergency has been declared and residents have been evacuated to the Lamb Elementary School. Now, Elaine Hinkle, who is the Emergency Management Coordinator in Burlington County, joins us live over the phone now. Elaine, can you please just give us an update on what the situation is at that trailer park?
Okay, there is some cleanup over here. We have Jersey Central Power and Light because there are transformers inside mobile homes that have fallen into them. They are trying to clear it up as much as possible. There is no power here whatsoever. That means there's no water. The people are working with everyone else. They've been very cooperative with us. We will not have power till at least midnight tomorrow night.
Okay, we're looking at some live pictures now from Chopper 6. Elaine, it looks like the whole place was just wiped out, like complete devastation.
Yeah, but believe it or not, a lot of it are the trees, and a lot of it is minor things. Some people got harder hits than others. One trailer next to another one didn't even get touched when the other one got devastated.
Now, you talked about the water situation and the power situation not being restored until sometime tomorrow night. Does that mean residents there will have to remain evacuated at that elementary school? When might they be able to return to their homes?
As soon as we get power back, Jersey Central will come over with me. We are going to do a live broadcast at 11 o'clock at my building. However, I made it mandatory last night. Some residents refused to leave.
Elaine, we understand that a representative of Governor Whitman's office took a tour of the damaged area this morning. Do you have any idea of a dollar amount now on the damage?
Oh, we haven't even begun to start that part yet. We know the trees alone were close to $80,000 just to remove them. That's just the trees, not counting the what's happening to these mobile homes.
Did you folks have any kind of warning that this was going to happen, or did it just hit just like that?
The only warning I got was across the Weather Channel. It gave me a warning that I was going to have heavy winds and heavy thunderstorms and rain. That was it.
Okay, Elaine Hinkle from the Emergency Management Office in Burlington County, thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday morning. All right, now, in other news this morning, police in Philadelphia and the suburbs...
Look at the big batch of red and yellow just ballooning right over Trenton. That's where the tornado struck and then moving off the coast. And showing you just how much rainfall was from these storms. We got a little bit in Philadelphia, but definitely the heaviest amounts near the severe thunderstorms up near Hunterdon County, close to 4 inches in some remote areas and 2 inches where the tornadoes hit, and now things are settling. We're looking at a farm right here. You can see how the wind just demolished some of the barns out there. This is right near the trailer park we showed you earlier, panning on over. You can see in a few minutes, you can see the trailer park. Here we go. And straight line winds caused significant damage, actually lifted some roofs off of buildings. We really saw the wrath of Mother Nature last night. Presently in Philadelphia, we have...
Counties are trying to recover this morning. One tornado has been confirmed in Mercer, but severe damage in Burlington County has been officially designated as the result of high winds, as Cecily mentioned, straight line winds. The action cam is live in Bordentown, where you can see drowned trees and emergency crews on the scene. The damage is scattered throughout Burlington County.
Well, a trailer park in North Hanover Township was especially hard hit. The high winds ripped down power lines, and they were left crackling as emergency crews tried to keep up with the storm. The wind damaged about 1/4 of all the trailers in the Spartan Village trailer park. Awnings were ripped down, chunks of trailers torn off, and several storage sheds were demolished. Power might not be restored to this park until sometime tomorrow. An emergency has been declared, and residents have been evacuated to the Lamb Elementary School.
Odom, who is now live on the scene there. Vernon, what can you tell us?
Dan, some of the extensive damage we've seen as we've traveled across Burlington County this morning has been, it shows you exactly how brutal this storm has been, and you see it where it hit heavy in some spots. Then you go for miles and miles of open land where you don't see any damage at all. We're right now live in front of the Spartan Village trailer park in North Hanover Township, one of the areas that was hit very hard by the brutal winds overnight. With me is Patrolman Mark Keebler, who has been here all night. Just assess some of the damage and what you've seen and what you saw last night as you've tried to clean out of the muck here.
Well, we have one total loss of a trailer and several severely damaged. There's no electricity, water, or sewage to any of the units. A lot of trees down and wires and things of that nature. It's going to be quite a while before they get those things reinstated.
I'm understanding it may be several days before they get the power back.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how long, but they have a lot of work there. They're going to have to replace the entire service for the electrical.
Officer, what happens in trailer parks? We drive down, I saw residential areas, larger houses, no damage at all for many, many miles, and then something gets hit like this. Is that a tornado, meaning it's going up and down instead of direct winds all the time?
I don't know if it was a tornado, but one of the problems here, it's adjacent to a open field area, was one of the contributing factors to the damage that occurred.
Many residents of this trailer park were evacuated for a period of time.
Yeah, that's correct. It was a voluntary evacuation. They had a staging area the township set up for facilities for sleeping and eating and things of that nature, and that still is in operation right now.
Miraculously, no one injured, though.
We had 2 minor injuries, no serious.
Nothing very serious.
No, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
That's
welcome.
Officer Mark Keebler here in North Hanover Township. Again, extensive damage all across Burlington and Mercer County, very visible from the roads and highways as you go across some of the open and agricultural areas, but it's miraculous. You see some areas that look very pristine, not hit at all, and then you see others that were brutally hit. Trees down, wires down, power companies still working on that, and state and local officials assessing the damage still this morning. Vernon Odom, Channel 6 Action News, reporting live from North Hanover Township, New Jersey.
All right, Vernon, thank you very much.
The tornado hit, then pulling off the coast, and then that next batch developing over Philadelphia. That was around 10:30. Dropped some rain in our neck of the woods, but basically the
nastiness leaving another major mess behind. Central New Jersey looks like a war zone after last night's devastating storms. Chopper 6 is live right now over McGuire Air Force Base in central Burlington County. This is the scene. You can see on the gyro cam the violent winds from that cluster of storms last night flipped over several planes on the base. You can see them plainly there. McGuire has called in teams now from Delaware, Maryland, and Georgia to help clean up the mess caused by the storms. The base here is one of the hardest hit areas. 7 counties in all suffered damage throughout northwestern and central New Jersey. The losses are likely to be well into the millions. And now we are looking at near Fort Dix, which is right next door. You can see that the last night's storms did tremendous damage there. We've got buildings blown apart and a couple of trailers blown on their sides there. A lot of lumber strewn everywhere. This a close-up look at some of the damage on Fort Dix last night from the Chopper 6 gyro cam. Both of those military installations were hit hard, obviously. Now, the severe storms cut a path of destructions like a sharp knife through Burlington County. The first evidence appears in Bordentown, the northwest corner of Burlington County. That's just south of Trenton. The storms continue to carve a 5 to 6 mile wide area of damage east and then south to Browns Mills and Pemberton. Some of the worst damage is smack dab in the middle in North Hanover Township. Vernon Odom brings us the story from there now.
We're here. That's what's important. You can replace things. You can't replace lives.
Shirley and Bob Thompson are alive because they were out to dinner when storm winds hit their mobile house in the Spartan Village Park in North Hanover. Their roof was blown off and their home for the last 6 years obliterated by Mother Nature. Bob Thompson is a retired fireman who's seen plenty of devastation in his time.
And you see, you know, all these hurricanes and tornadoes that hit out west and wipe out complete trailer parks. Never dreaming we'd ever come down the road last night and see this.
The Thompsons' home was the hardest hit in the 214-unit Spartan Village Park, but there was plenty of damage to others from the wind itself, from huge trees that were toppled, and flying debris and branches. The governor toured the stricken areas this morning, then told reporters she'll seek an as yet undetermined amount of federal aid in the wake of what is being described as something other than a tornado.
Best description I've heard of what happened last night is a microburst, which is a phenomenon occurring when a thunderstorm the winds of a thunderstorm first start to gather and the climactic forces join together, producing some very, very high winds.
The Thompsons, like most of those here in Spartan Village, live directly across from this huge cornfield. The brutal winds whipped across here last night and chose them to hit full blast.
The wind came across a large open field, and it had a lot of time to pick up a lot of speed. The trailer that was damaged, it appeared that it had a sliding glass door, and probably the glass door gave in and let the air inside the house wind. The other trailers, we had a lot of damage too, but it could have been so much worse. If the wind had come from a different direction and it caught those trailers broadside, we would have had devastation.
I'm scared to death of thunder and lightning, but I love the wind. The wind always, you know, fascinates me how it can move these trees. I didn't know it could move this much, though.
We can always get another trailer or another home, and thank God we weren't in the trailer when it hit. So I don't know where we would have went. As you can see what it done. I don't know where we would have went if we were home.
Thousands, including those living in Spartan Village, are still without utilities as workers feverishly try to restore power. But emergency officials say it may be as late as Tuesday before many have electricity, gas, and water flowing again. Vernon Odom, Channel 6 Action News, North Hanover Township, New Jersey.
And unfortunately, one death has been linked to the storms. A National Guardsman from Fort Dix was killed trying to move a fallen tree. The tree fell on him. 26-year-old Specialist Ronald Crema was a native of Kings Park, New York. He had been training at Fort Dix with a National Guard unit from New York. Another community in Burlington County that's cleaning up this Sunday is Bordentown. It looks like a tornado touchdown here. Trees uprooted, sheds torn apart, power lines down. So far, though, no confirmation that a twister did cause this damage. A tornado...
At least it's not raining, but what a way to start.
Neighbor, though, these pictures from Hamilton Township, Mercer County.
Fortunately for us today, high pressure building in
over a 2-mile-long area. Many of the trees became entangled in power lines and thousands were left in the dark here. The National Weather Service says the twister that hit Mercer County produced 75-mile-an-hour winds. The